I was always looking for new games to play. One time I found a game called 1nsane. It looked pretty cool. It was a racing game with a bunch of different racing modes, different cars, and everything interesting about it. As if that's not every single racing game ever. The game even had a vehicle called a speeder that was simply a machine floating. A what machine? A car, motorcycle, particle accelerator? It's not specific. It was fast though. Yes, I would imagine it would, being called the speeder. So I browsed through, looking for download links to the game. However, nothing came. Either never worked, or it was a demo. I tried playing the demo, but it had almost no content. Only 2 cars and 1 track. That's barely Unity asset test at that point. I was really disappointed by this. Every time I thought I found a working download link, the game would give me a fatal cannot load text error. Loads of text to show that it cannot load text. I tried looking it up, but to no avail. Wait, what? Where did you find the game? I was going to be found on like a YouTube video and thought it looked neat. Did someone tell you about it? Was it revealed to you in a dream? Where did you find this if it's not online? I did some research to see if it was a real game. It is a real game. It's like $3, and the sequel's on Steam? Bro, just get the sequel. Back to the story. I usually never torrent, but I grew more and more desperate. I eventually snapped and decided to torrent the game. Little did I know, I had made a huge mistake. I looked in the folder that downloaded the torrent. It said 1nsane.exe. I clicked it. No sponsors showed up before the game menu. That was peculiar, I thought. Peculiar seems like a big word for creepypasta writers. Normally, I would always see some form of sponsor before the game menu, but nope, it just came straight to the menu. There was single player, multiplayer, and options. The exit button wasn't there, which was also peculiar. I would assume there's like an X. It's a computer game. Just exit out if you want to. I thought. I chose options. That one didn't work. In fact, the only one that did work was multiplayer. They actually just bought the new Call of Duty game. I clicked multiplayer. It immediately brought me to the race, with only one other driver. That driver went by the name H311666. Oh, the spooky number. Are you scared? The map we were driving on was a fiery volcano with narrow rock formations to drive on, which is a map in Mario Kart Wii, by the way. This began to creep me out a little bit. Thank you, author, I wasn't sure how to feel. The 3, 2, 1, go signs were bloodied. The race started. First of all, that didn't have to be a full sentence on its own. That could have been like a comma. From what I was able to see beyond the smoke and fire were very gory situations. I'm not listing those out. Vomit rose in my throat as I went through the track. God forbid this dude ever play like Saints Row or something. The music and engine sounds were slowly distorting. I could hear blood-curdling screams in the background. I don't know if you can make a game scary. Like, this just sounds like Carmageddon. Just after the last scream, I heard a voice. It didn't sound like a voice coming from my speakers. It came from behind me. The voice said, in a demonic tone, "There is a reason for this game being called 1nsane." That's all I could hear before my screams were released. That's a weird phrasing. Makes it sound like the screams are like a person he's been keeping in his basement. I quickly turned around and there was nothing behind me. Just my wall and lamp. The real scare is he's actually becoming schizophrenic. I let out a quick sigh, then continued on. I was greeted by my vehicle on fire. Not graphical fire, but real HD fire. Not possible, I let out. This is a terrible description. Like, can we get some details at least? The white fire wrapped around the car like a constrictor getting its victim. The hopeless yet beautiful scene captivated me for minutes on end. See, I just made that up. Then text spread across the screen saying, "Wanna challenge that?" Challenge what? The fire graphics? What, can you make ray trace fire, loser? More screams were released. I heard another scream from my speakers, and then I saw a guy jump out of the flaming car. He was also on this realistic fire. There was one thing about the driver. He looked just like me. I like to think the author is just like a generic looking white dude with brown hair, like every video game character is just him. I began to vomit all over my computer. Why? You just ruined your computer. That's the real scare here. Fan theory time. This dude actually just took a lot of Benadryl and this is his trip. Another demonic voice said, "No need for that. This is hell, and vomiting will get you nowhere." Also applies to business meetings, grocery shopping, really anything. I like to imagine the sign to hell is just like, abandon all hope ye who enter, and then like little parentheses underneath. It's just like, please do not vomit on our floors. I quickly turned around again. Nothing there. Again. That was really awkward. I went outside and was greeted by my normal neighborhood. The author displays a lot of leagues, so the idea of going outside is terrifying. This game has to be playing tricks on me, I mumbled and went back to my computer. No, no, please, you were almost free. The game went back to the main menu. All the functions worked and there was an exit sign. Actually, speaking of the game, did you even like play it? Like, you never described like how the car looked or how things felt. Like, all that you described really was that there was a volcanic place and there was fire. Did you even get to play it? Like, how's it feel? Is it tank controls? It's a pretty old game. I thought that was something like the last scary game I played, Itarisu's Syndrome. I'm gonna have to look into this real quick, actually, wait. Okay, so for my one Google search and click on the wiki page, I can tell that it's kind of like if you took Doki Doki Literature Club and Catherine and made a really generic baby out of them. Anyways, I clicked single player. All the functions worked. Yes, you've already established that. There was no trace of anything hellish. I pressed the exit button and my computer obeyed. That's a weird phrasing, isn't it? Like, my computer obeyed me. Like, you could just say, like, you hit the exit button and it worked. Like, obeyed? That makes you sound like a scary person here. The 1nsane.exe was changed to just say game. There was no trace of anything scary. I went back to the game. The sponsors played. I was astonished. Everything worked. It was as if nothing crazy happened. The trip finally wore off. I'm still traumatized by this concurrence? Do you mean occurrence? Concurrence would be like if you and all your friends had the same experience at the same time. You don't need to break out the big dictionary words for the creepypasta you're writing. I still have nightmares of this happening. I destroyed my computer. Well, that's because you vomited on it, you idiot, and got a new laptop. That actually might be a downgrade, honestly, from my experience with gaming laptops. I know the game was working perfectly fine, but I wanted to take no chances. You could have said I didn't want to take any chances. I've read enough other creepypastas. You don't want to reference the medium by which you're explaining it. Like, creepypastas isn't a scary word, and it reminds you like, oh, I'm reading a story that's not real. So it brings you out of the experience entirely. Anyways, I read enough of other creepypastas to see people that left their computer there and more crazy shit happened. I tried bringing this up to the insane heat forums. He was really into r/fire, and my threads were immediately taken down. Well, yeah, because you only like kinda mentioned fire in your story. I soon later got an email telling me about this. I was told that this was a rare occurrence and that this happened to a very short amount of people. Saying short amount of people makes it sound like it only happens to people who are under 6 foot or something. The creators of the game either classified this as a glitch or denied it to ever happen. The email told me that if you pirated it and managed to get past the error screen, you get this occurrence. Well, how does it make it a glitch, does it? That makes it an anti-piracy screen. This was supposed to be scrapped, but it never has. Never was. And also, the stuff you described, like especially the HD fire, I've seen this game, it is primitive. That would take up like all of the storage space allotted to the game, just the fire alone. Like, this would have been a priority to be removed, probably through exorcism. I don't think I'll ever want to be a pirate again. He's moving away from Somalia. Right, so let's discuss this story a little bit. He looks so hard for this game, and when he gets it, he doesn't even play it. Like, he joins the thing, gets tortured, and then he leaves. Like, at least he could have at least like done a race, and then the scary stuff starts to happen. Like, he looked at this for so long, and he doesn't even talk about the game. Like, the only thing he name drops in the game outside of the name itself is the speeder, which he describes as a hovering machine, but it's fast. We would assume it's fast because it's called the speeder, but also, a hovering what? A machine could be literally anything that has like mechanical parts in it. I mean, if you want to get technical with it, you're a machine because your cells work. And also, it's just not scary. Like, the stuff he's describing is like bad, but like, if I was playing a game, right, and I saw this, I'd be like, oh, that's distasteful. And I would leave the game and be like, not a very fun game, honestly. And also, like, he throws up from fear at a game. I will give it, like, outside of the HD fire bit, it's not super like unrealistic that this could be in a game. Outside the fact that the game is real, like, if he just made up a game, it would have worked. Like, most people don't know what 1nsane is, I would imagine. But like, if he just made up a game, all this could have worked. But I've seen the game, it can't render HD fire. But the rest of it is kind of realistic, except for the voice coming behind him, but he might have just hallucinated that out of being so scared. And then he goes outside. He's like a Skyrim NPC, like a guard. Just like he walks outside after being terrified, takes a deep breath, just like must have been the wind, and walks back to the game, and then it heals itself. Like imagine if other anti-piracy screens were like that, like, oh, you withstood seeing Diddy Kong in chains, and now you can play the game. Good luck, pirate. And on my last note, the smallest amount of research, I looked up the game 1nsane just to check if it was real. The first thing that came up was, oh, it's $3. No, it was $2 and some change. Just buy it. It had free shipping, and it's actually pretty well rated. I might try it later. Wrapping up the story and the video, if you guys have any comments about the story, or if you've played 1nsane itself, please let me know and tell me how it is. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.
Smoking, no cooking, the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.